Good evening and welcome back. I'm Father Eric Sundrup. I'm the pastor here at Bellarmine Chapel, and I am happy to virtually welcome you for another night of incredible performances here in our parish and beyond. We are happy to be hosting this concert because we are committed to standing with migrants and refugees, to building bridges, not walls, and to welcoming all with love. As you heard last night, your donations will go to serve three incredible migrant-serving organizations: the Keno Border Initiative, LULAC, and Catholic Charity Southwestern Ohio's Su Casa Hispanic Center. We hope you enjoyed tonight's performances and hope you will join us in sharing the journey with our migrant brothers and sisters.
Hi, good evening. I'm Elaine Deal with Cincinnati Public Radio. We are the home of classical WGUC, Radio Inhaler, Radio Artifact, WMUB, and WVXU. So it feels really good to be up here with my co-host, who you heard for many, many years on WVXU, Ron Esposito.
Well, thank you, Elaine. It's a pleasure to be here at Bellarmine Chapel. And I used to work just down the street for 20-some years at WVXU, right here on the Xavier University campus. I'm now a certified life coach, Enneagram teacher at the Conscious Living Center here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I also play crystal and Tibetan singing bowls for meditation and yoga classes. So I'm so glad that you have joined us for this wonderful event that's in its third year. And we want to let you know right now about two artists that we're going to be hearing. Our first artist is Bill Tonis. And Bill is from here in Cincinnati, Ohio, was a reporter on WLW radio for many years. And now he's a pastoral minister, retreat leader, presenter, chaplain, music minister, and singer-songwriter. And Bill also visits shut-ins, people in hospitals, nursing homes, and provides pastoral care through his words and music. Bill has 4 albums released and 2 books available, all available at Amazon.com.
He's a West Sider, too.
I'm sorry?
He's a West Sider.
Oh,
we like that.
There you go. Right. And also, we'll, in this set, also be hearing from Vince Lujan from out in the Arizona, Texas area. Vince is a bilingual liturgical musician and praise worship leader. He works as a youth minister, does workshops, presentations, and presents live music concerts. And Vince really does a lot of good work in the bilingual area in Christian ministry. He lives with his wife Charity and their daughters in Denton, Texas. So let's check out Bill Tonis.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bill Tonis, and it is once again a privilege and an honor to be a part of this wonderful concert again this year. It is my honor to play for you this evening a song off my third album, Give Praise and Thanks. The song I'm going to play is, I think, very appropriate for this evening. It's titled, All Are Welcome.
New hope is found.
welcome. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening. Peace and love to everyone. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Vince Lujan, and I'm with a group called Jesus Team A, Jesus Te Ama. Jesus Team A is a bilingual group that seeks to build bridges between the English and the Spanish-speaking communities within the church and the world over. We are so honored to be a part of this Share the Journey concert with you this evening. I'd like to share with you a song that was inspired by my friend and partner in ministry, Manuel Bravo of San Luis Potosí, Mexico. When I met Manuel, he shared with me his story and his songs, and they became the basis of a relationship that has led to sharing our gifts with everybody that we can. His story is one that is shared by so many people that have left their homes, their families, everything they've known in search of a better life. So here now is a song from Manuel. Manuel, all the stories that you tell, how it pains me to hear you say how you left your home and all you've known, and that girl that got away. How you wished you could have stayed. Manuel, the many miles, many trials you have faced, but still you came on. Across the desert into sand, wanting water in your hand, you told me how you had wanted to die. Manuel, the stars were your disguise, and I seem to have left an imprint in your eyes. No one will know all that you have done. Yeah, so I thought I'd write you this song for Manuel. Through all the hell, when you sat in the tiny little cell, yet you still wished no one any wrong. You almost stole your soul every time you'd go and try and seek a better life. You ask me why so much strife. No matter what, the stars were your disguise, and it seemed to have left an imprint in your eyes. No one will know all that you have done, so I thought I'd write you this song for Manuel. Mexico seemed so long ago, San Luis Potosí. You ask me how come I've had to come so far, just not to be free. He says, why can't they see? Oh, Manuel, the stars were your disguise, and it seemed to have left an imprint in your eyes. No one will know all that you have done, so I thought I'd write you this song. I want the world to sing a song for Manuel. Oh, oh.
Me llamo Elba Alicia Pagano, State Director for LULAC, Ohio. LULAC, the League of United Latin American Citizens, is so proud to be one of the featured organizations for tonight's benefit concert. Since 1929, our 91-year-old organization, the largest and oldest civil rights organization for the Hispanic Latino community in the United States. Our work encompasses education, civil rights, social and economic justice, to name a few. LULAC provides educational opportunities, policy advocacy, and we promote civic engagement through census and voter registrations, and active participation in our democratic process. Our most beloved contribution to education is the Little School of 400. The 400 represents the 400 English words they taught children going to school for the first time in the United States as Spanish speakers. Lyndon B. Johnson later launched the National Head Start program in 1965, modeled after the Little School of 400 because he was a Little School of 400 teacher as a young man. Education is important to LULAC, and we provide leadership opportunities with youth councils, collegiate councils, young adult councils, and traditional LULAC membership councils. We believe that everyone has a voice and a responsibility in making our community, our nation, and our world a better place. Our members partner with many organizations to meet our community's needs and also to empower our motto, all for one and one for all. You can learn more about LULAC at lulacohio.com. A shout out to my students. Hola estudiantes at TMHS. And a shout out to our sponsors. Que viva LULAC. Que viva the Bellarmine Chapel, Bobby Fischer, and the Pearson Young Project, and all the amazing talented people who helped to make this wonderful concert a possibility. Thank you all for being here. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And share the journey.
Well, thank you, Alicia Pagan, for that message. And before Alicia, we heard music from Vince Lujan, and we kicked off this evening with music from Bill Tonis. Elaine?
Wasn't that interesting that her motto is all for one, one for all? And here we are on the campus of Xavier University, where, of course, that message is emblazoned and on banners and flags everywhere. So we really are all for one. This is a lot of firsts going into this. It's the third concert, but the first virtual because of the circumstances surrounding the pandemic. It's the first virtual event I've hosted or been part of ever in my entire life. It's the first show I've ever done in a mask. So here we are bobbing and weaving with the changes. One of the things we have learned is that if you are watching this concert tonight in full screen mode or on a television, you might not be able to see the donate link. So if you would, please, you can find that link in the chat, and you can also make some comments and talk to us as we proceed throughout the evening. Also in the description of the event on the Facebook link, or you can go to shareinthejourney.com. Several ways to connect with us tonight, Ron.
And thank you, Elaine. I want to speak to you directly now, from my heart to your heart. You can feel it in my voice, how my heart feels about what I'm going to say to you next. There's problems in the immigration system. People are in search for a better way of life for their families, for themselves, and they're fleeing their home countries to find a better life. Sometimes they're actually fleeing from danger to their life. They're not just leaving their countries for a vacation. They're leaving for a reason, legitimate reasons, seeking a better life. Detention centers, locked in detention centers. Are we not human beings? Do we not have the same blood coursing through our veins? Our hearts beating the same rhythms? Families separated. Can you only imagine what that does to a young child? It psychologically scars them. This is inhumane. People are facing deportation back to dangerous situations. And there's an absolute need for a more compassionate and just immigration center. I speak to you on a human level, folks. You know, in the Bible, there was a class of adjudicators, legislators, known as the Pharisees. And we all know that this body talked about the law. They made the law. They oversaw the law. And our Master, Jesus the Christ, said, "The letter of the law killeth. Without love, the law is empty, dry, and punitive." Punitive. We want to punish people who are seeking a better life. The letter of the law killeth. Without love, the law is dry and punitive. My sincerest hope is that you would open your heart, please. Listen to the artists and the speakers we have, and please make a donation. You can visit shareinthehope.com to make a contribution, and we certainly hope you would. I say this to you from the place of deep love in my heart, to you as one person to another person. Let love rule. God bless you. Elaine?
I am so excited about this next act. I'm very, very pleased to introduce Bishop Todd O'Neill and the House of Joy Singers. Bishop Todd O'Neill's work in the missions began in the 1980s when he counseled high school students. He led outreach services in Pakistan. Reverend O'Neill has made many, many trips to Grenada and serves on the board of Raise Praise Ministries. He has served as chaplain at correctional institutions since 1976, when he began leading Sunday worship services at the Hamilton County Justice Facilities. He led choirs at the Ohio Reformatory for Women and the Lebanon Correctional Institution, and joined Dr. Catherine Roma in 4 recordings with the Warren, Madison, and London Correctional Men's Choirs. He currently serves at the House of Joy Christian Ministries, an interdenominational congregation that he founded in 1994. He teaches and leads worship at the Lakeside for Youth, and most recently, Bishop O'Neill has begun the Dream Conference in Cincinnati. The Dream Conference offers art, drama, music, creative writing, and dance in a 4-day workshop for youth and adults. He and his wife, Linda, co-pastor the House of Joy Christian Ministry in Cincinnati, where he directs the House of Joy singers as part of the House of Joy ministry. They perform their ministry of music throughout Cincinnati, and they are here to sing for us tonight, Bishop Todd O'Neill and the House of Joy Singers.
Lord, coming The name of this song is Tuve Hambre. I was hungry. And the refrain is based on a very well-known passage of scripture from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 34 through 37. I was hungry and you gave me to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me to drink. And the verses are a call to action, a call to conviction about how we treat others. And it is based on a homily by Father Pedro Arrupe, who was the head of the Jesuits at one time worldwide. El estribillo es tomado de el Evangelio muy conocido de San Mateo, capítulo 25, y las estrofas tomadas de una homilía del Padre Pedro Arrupe, que era el cabeza mundial de los jesuitas hace años. Tuve hambre y me dieron de comer. Tuve sed y me dieron de beber. ¿Cómo fue? ¿Dónde fue que te vimos hambriento y con sed? Se pretende creer en el pan de vida, en el mismo que vino a saciarnos cada vez que no lo hacemos por ellos, tampoco lo hacemos por Cristo. Si nosotros somos responsables, estamos implicados. Tuve hambre y me dieron de comer. Tuve sed y me dieron de beber. ¿Cómo fue? ¿Dónde fue que te vimos hambriento y con sed? Cristo es la voz del que no tiene voz, el que habla por los que han callado, por el oprimido y el pobre, por todo hambriento y sediento. Escuchemos el grito de Cristo que habla por ellos. Tuve hambre y me dieron de comer. Tuve sed y me dieron de beber. ¿Cómo fue? ¿Dónde fue que te vimos hambriento y con sed? Donde quiera que haya sufrimiento, donde quiera que haya hambre en el mundo, compartamos espacio en la mesa y el mundo sabrá con certeza que nosotros creemos aún en la justicia. Tuve hambre y me dieron de comer. Tuve sed y me dieron de beber. ¿Cómo fue? ¿Dónde fue que te vimos hambriento y con sed? ¿Cómo fue? ¿Dónde fue que te vimos hambriento y con sed? Que te vimos hambriento y con sed. Que te vimos hambriento y con sed.
Pedro Rubalcaba singing for you tonight, and before that it was Bishop Todd O'Neill with the House of Joy Singers. I got to tell you, everyone working on this telecast is a musician or a music lover, and one by one they all came to the monitor to watch, and then they were drumming along and singing along, just really, really raising our spirits, the House of Joy Singers. And we want to thank Jesse Waits. He is Jesse Waits Media on Facebook. He's here sharing his talent and his expertise, making this broadcast possible. You can contact Jesse for all of your multimedia needs. Jesse Waits Media.
Well, thank you, Elaine. We have two more performers coming up next. And in this set, we're going to feature Jaime Cortez and Peter Kolar. Jaime Cortez is a popular composer, arranger, performer, born in New York and raised in El Salvador. And Jaime has dedicated a portion of his ministry to promoting better Hispanic liturgies and bringing cultures together for worship. He's an accomplished musician and plays guitar as well as piano. And he's done a translation for the traditional Mass of Christ the Savior, Misa Cristo Salvador, into Spanish and bilingual versions along with Dan Schutt. In addition, Jaime presents workshops and gives concerts in both English and Spanish and works with volunteer groups. And after Jaime's performance, we'll hear from Peter Kolar. He's the editor for Spanish and bilingual resources at GIA Publications. And he's an accomplished composer and pianist. Peter holds a master's degree in music composition from Northwestern University and sits on the board of directors for the Southwest Liturgical Conference. He resides in El Paso, Texas, where he is the director of the El Paso Diocesan Choir. So let's listen now to Jaime Cortez and Peter Kolar.
El Señor es compasivo, the Lord is kind. El Señor es misericordioso, the Lord is merciful. El Señor es compasivo, the Lord is kind. El Señor es misericordioso, the Lord is merciful. Bendice al Señor, alma mía, que todo mi ser bendiga su santo nombre. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and forget not the Lord's benefits. El Señor es compasivo, the Lord is kind. El Señor es misericordioso, the Lord is merciful. The Lord pardons all your iniquities. The Lord heals all your ills. Él rescata tu vida del sepulcro y te colma de amor y de ternura. El Señor es compasivo, the Lord is kind. El Señor es misericordioso, El Señor es compasivo, el Señor es misericordioso, lento para enojarse y generoso para perdonar. Not according to our sins does the Lord deal with us, not according to our faults are we repaid. El Señor es compasivo, the Lord is kind. El Señor es misericordioso, the Lord is merciful. As far as the east is from the west, so far has the Lord put our sins from our side. Como un padre es compasivo con sus hijos, así es compasivo el Señor con quien lo ama. El Señor es compasivo, the Lord is kind. El Señor es misericordioso, the Lord is merciful.
Hello, I'm Peter Kolar. A very special thank you to everyone tuning in today in support of this worthy cause para los inmigrantes y los refugiados. You've heard already from some wonderful vocalists sharing their tremendous gift, and a vocalist I'm not, so I thought I'd share with you a brief instrumental meditation on the piano. In 2015, I had the honor of having one of my compositions be included in the Papal Liturgy in Philadelphia with Pope Francis presiding. The piece that was sung was the Agnus Dei, or the Lamb of God as we know it, from my bilingual mass setting, Misa Luna. And it was actually sung in Spanish, which is meaningful in its own right. The powerful words speak of Christ, the spotless Lamb, himself a refugee who takes away the sins of the world. These are a poignant reminder of how the sacred text of the Mass itself can be the very prayer we need in this moment. I offer you this brief meditation and a few variations on the Passacaglia, or the harmonic basis for Misa Luna, which itself is inspired by George Frederick Handel. Enjoy and pray along.
Bravo. Wow. Fantastic piano music from Peter Kolar performing Misa Luna. And we opened that set with Jaime Cortez, along with his family. Great guitar player, beautiful singer. Elaine, what do you have for us?
Well, hi. If you're just joining us, welcome. We're really glad you're here. This is the second night of Share the Journey, Concert for Compassion, the 2020 version, which, as you figured out by now, is online. In past years, we've done it live, and we look forward to being back live next time around. If you're not familiar, Share the Journey was a 2-year campaign sponsored by Caritas Internationalis, the global network of national Catholic charities, including the U.S. Catholic Relief Services and Catholic Charities USA, to promote encounters between people on the move and people living in the countries they are leaving, passing through, or arriving in. Pretty simple. The campaign was launched by Pope Francis in 2017, and Share the Journey, the Concert for Compassion, goes now into year number 3. The principles remain the same as they were at the beginning. If you are enjoying the music, which I'm sure you are, we're glad. If you are touched by the message, you can visit shareinthehope.com. I get to shake things up a little bit. Our next performer is a storyteller, a juggler, and a writer whose nickname is the Space Painter. I've heard of the Space Cowboy. This guy is the Space Painter.
I know.
Beyond his work as a performance artist, Tom Sparrow and his wife, Geraldine, facilitate team-building experiences, days of renewal, and marriage enrichment programs. His latest book is Ghost Stories to Keep You Alive. After Tom, we will hear music from Steve Katz, and Steve will be followed by Ga Lee. And now, here is the Space Painter, Tom Sparrow.
A proclamation of the Holy Word that even a bird brain could understand. I am the great juggler, the giver of delights. That's G-O-D for short. I'm sorry if I offend you. I know in some places this is illegal, this mingling of the colors. But I come in peace. My peace is my gift to you, which is why I've brought this symbol of peace, a wonderful white dove of spirit and flesh that so many ignore in their upside down world. And I delight in sharing the raven with you that many have named the harbinger of death, that you scare away from your cornfields full of food, this beautiful black bird. But I delight in sharing the blue bird of happiness with you that some say has no place in a black and white world, that this is an immigrant, an undocumented, illegal. But perhaps they understand something you do not. For I share this with the simple, while the cunning and the intelligent fail to grasp the meaning. And it's so simple. Trust and believe like the birds of the air, who neither sow, nor reap, nor gather into barns, but yet I feed them. And each one, no matter their color, wants to take to the sky, wants to fly above the earth and across the heavens. They want to nest in the branches that spring forth from the mustard seed. And I say to all of you who have hearts that are frightened, be strong. Do not be afraid. I come to save you. I build a highway called the Holy Way. No lion shall be upon it, nor beast of prey. Coyote. It is for those on a journey. And on it, the redeemed will walk. My thoughts are not your thoughts, nor your ways my ways. As high as the heavens are above the earth, so high are my ways above your ways, my thoughts above your thoughts. I delight in your color. I delight in where you were born. I delight in where you are going. And you are precious to me and glorious. And I love you. The holy word of the Lord. Thanks be to the giver of delights.
Hi, my name is Steve Katz. I was a founding member of Blood, Sweat, and Tears and the Blues Project. I'm here today to share this wonderful undertaking with all of you. My grandparents took this journey many years ago. They were escaping persecution in Eastern Europe. They got on ships, went across the Atlantic in harsh conditions, and landed on Ellis Island. They were dreamers and they were able to make their dreams come true. But those were different times. Those were the days when America welcomed its immigrants. My grandparents struggled, but they never had to fight to be Americans and to be treated with the respect and the dignity that they deserved. Times have changed. It's now up to all decent Americans to help restore our values. Please give what you can to make sure the kids are freed from the detention centers and that the immigrants, the dreamers, like my grandparents, are able to enjoy the opportunities that America offers. I'm sharing a video of a song I did in concert, pre-pandemic days. It was written and performed originally by Will Shade and the Memphis Jug Band in the 1930s, and it was recorded by my first band, the Even Dozen Jug Band. The video starts a few seconds late, but I hope you enjoy it anyway.
I would not get married, tell you the reason why. A woman is evil, puts things on the sly. You go to your home to see if your dinner's hot. She never even put the neck bone into the pot. She's on the road again. Lord, natural born, he's been on the road again. She's on the road again. Lord, natural born, he's been on the road again. I went to my window is propped. I went to my door, you know my door was locked. I stood right up, I shook my head. A great big rounder in my folding bed. I got my gun, I shot through the glass. I never saw a big old rounder run so fast. He's on the road again. Lord, natural born, he's been on the road again. He's on the road again. Lord, natural born, he's been on the road again. friend come to my house, he puts down his hat. He says to my wife, where is your husband at? Well, I don't know, they say he's in the pen. But come on, mama, let's get on the road again. He's on the road again. Lord, natural born, he's been on the road again. He's on the road again. Lord, natural born, he's been on the road again. After the jug band.
Hola, we're Gali. I'm Elba Alicia Lawrence Lopez Pagana Acevedo Martinez Gonzalez Rodriguez.
And my name is Ray Tucrose Wallen. It's a little song we made up for you. There's no use trying. She won't even hold your hand. Who's crying now? Oh, I told you so. If this turns out to be the one you're trying all your life, I just wants to hold on to your dreams, for reality, it seems, is growing cold, keeps growing cold. But a bad dream is hard to hold, even when it's in your hand. And so we gotta turn around and make our stand. Pardon me, oh, I'm American, you see, and there must be hope. There must be hope. Change the world. Start right now. We can show each other how. There must be hope. There must be hope. Woman and man, there's a need we understand, and I see that heart in a million hearts, and I see my face in 6 million faces. I've been from sea to shining sea, stood in the purple mountains mist. I've been your loving, healing hands, and I've been your bloody, killing fist. There's one thing I understand, though far too many have no clue, that everything done by our hands will come right back to me and you. God bless this America, I hear you calling. Y'all hear about Grandma Wilson? She gone stark raving. She lost her 25 years life saving. She script little here and she said little there. Her dresses was old and her cupboards was bare. But a great big dream filled up her heart. She could give her granddaughter a good head start. She said, Tuco, how can this happen in the land of the free? Some rich man stolen my dreams from me. She said, I heard it was quickly and easily done. I said, Granny, don't ask me, but you might ask a senator or a congressman or people who own one. We got a right to know, because we've been from sea to shining sea, stood in the purple mountains mist. We've been your loving, healing hands, we've been your bloody, killing fist. There's one thing we understand, though greedy people have no clue, that everything done by our hands will come right back to me and you. God bless this America. Oh, I hear you calling me, and God bless this America. God bless Miss America. I hear you calling me. God bless you, Miss America. It's just a rubber being free. And God bless you, Miss America. I hear you calling. God bless Miss America. The walls are falling. My country, 'tis of we.
Golly, God bless Ms. America. I'm not sure where that video was shot, but I want to go there. The color of the sky and the leaves rippling in the wind, and of course the beautiful, beautiful music. Before that, rock and roll royalty Steve Katz performed She's on the Road Again, and we had a wonderful presentation by Tom Sparrow, the space painter, called Birds and the Giver of Delight. As you can imagine, any production like this takes a lot of coordination, a lot of people, and a lot of talent to put together. If you have ever seen live music in Cincinnati in the past 30 or 40 years, in church, on Fountain Square, at a concert, in a club, you've probably seen this gentleman perform. But tonight he's taken his place behind the camera until now. We brought Bobby Fischer up to have him sit down and play for a minute, no guitar in his hands. It's an unusual sight. Bobby is one of the hardest working men in show business. He's also a deeply caring human being who I've been lucky enough to call a friend for many, many years. And Bobby has taken on the massive task of music producer or music director and producer for this event. So Bobby, thank you. Thank you on behalf of the musicians and the people you're helping tonight.
Well, thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Ron. And thank you, all of our viewers and supporters, and those who have helped behind the scenes, all of our crew. It's been, this has been one amazing journey.
See, this is exactly what Bobby Fischer does. I interview him, and immediately he's giving praise and thanks to everybody else. We want to talk about you for a minute. Bobby, what was it that moved your heart to take on this massive project and to see it through as you have?
Well, it was roughly just a little bit over 2 years ago when I was witnessing what was happening in our country, and just the plight of families, as Ron so beautifully stated, coming here, many of them fleeing danger and fleeing for their own lives, coming to just to have a better life here, and ending up being locked in detention centers, families separated. And the thing that really moved me the most was seeing a shot of a 5-year-old girl just standing there alone by herself, crying her eyes out for her mommy. And no one there to console her. And I just thought, I just want to do something. I want to do something about this. And the thing that came to mind was what I do best, is play music. So it started with a post on Facebook saying, we need to do something about this. We need to put on a concert, and I just kind of put it out there, and I got all these responses from friends saying, sign me up, I'm in. And so that was the birth of this, and I approached my friends Steve Young and Greg Pearson of Pearson Young Project to see if you guys want to try to put something on. And then Steve approached the folks here at Bellarmine, and they came right on board to host it. And it became such a moving thing. So many people wanted to get involved with this that we ended up having to turn folks away,
That's a good problem to have.
It is, and this year is our first year we've expanded to 2 nights. And it's interesting because of the pandemic, we couldn't do this before a live audience, but we decided to still have it and to do it virtually, which has enabled us to greatly expand our base of artists from all over the country.
Bobby, you and I have just recently come to know each other, certainly in person. And I became aware of your musical history here in Cincinnati, particularly as a session musician, and I know you very instrumental in Catholic liturgy and music composition, as well as being a father and a husband, and your daughter Serenity and her husband Michael. Have you always been the sweetest guy on earth? That's my experience of you. You know that?
Well, when you're in front of people, you want to put your best foot forward or best face forward. But, I care about people, and my principal driving force is when you're doing something, do it with love in your heart, and love the people you're doing it with and doing it for.
Okay, once again, I'm going to jump in and say, yes, Ron, he always has been.
All right, good.
He's too modest to say so, but
Yeah,
Bobby
'cause
Fischer.
like I said, I've only recently
Yeah.
met Bobby, but I've been aware of Bobby for a number of years. In
He's
fact,
one of the good guys, and it spreads throughout his family. Now, Ron mentioned your daughter Serenity and Michael, who are two of the members of the Cardboard Hearts, who we'll hear
right.
later on. I've always enjoyed listening to Serenity's music. And talk a little bit about raising a musical family.
Okay. Well, before I do that, I want to take this opportunity to correct a mistake I made last night.
You're not the sweetest guy?
Oh, hey. Actually, in an interview last night when I introduced the Ronstadt brothers, and I was talking about the song A la Orilla de un Palmar, I wanted to get an understanding of what the song was about, and it's about a young girl who is orphaned, she's lost her mother and her father, no one to care for her, and I said that she grew up like on the edge of a palmar, which is like the palm of your hand.
Okay.
That was the translation I got. But Michael, they were watching when I got home last night, and he corrected me. He said, no, it's a palm grove. So she grew up on the edge of a palm grove, not the palm of a hand. So I just thought I needed to correct that. But to answer your question, raising a musical family, it's just something that kind of, I didn't set out to do it. Mm-hmm. You know, Serenity took an interest in music. Zach, our son, loves to play music. He doesn't do it for a living, but, Serenity, she just pursued it, and, it's become a career for her.
Bobby has an album called Hymns and Hers for Happy Hearts.
Correct.
That you recorded a couple of years ago.
Serenity is on it.
It was the first time I ever heard Serenity's voice when at the tail end of the album, after Bobby made her work and sing backup vocals and be part of the project. She was, 4 or 5 years old, and she pipes in with, now can we have some lunch? And I was always...
Actually, she was 3.
Well, she was pretty little. But that's a wonderful album, and my children listened to that record. I think it was on cassette tape, actually, many, many nights as we put them to sleep. And I think it's wonderful that you're playing now professionally with Serenity, but there's more connection than that. Also on tonight's program is Ed Goodfriend.
Ed Goodfriend.
Your very first musical
Correct.
partner.
Yes. It's kind of interesting how my whole life's journey, career, and mentoring in social justice came through Ed Goodfriend. The very first album I ever played on was Ed Goodfriend album. And we literally, after that, became good friends. And I would travel with Ed. He would give workshops. I would assist him with them. And he ended up, he's Serenity's godfather.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was kind of cool to have these two together. And our next segment will be our band, Serenity Fischer and the Cardboard Hearts. And her husband, Michael, is our cellist, also sings, also plays a host of other instruments and writes.
Yeah, is there anything Michael can't play if it has strings on it?
Not that I'm aware of.
He's kind of from a musical family, too.
He is. Yes, in fact, last night, his brother Petey and he performed, the Ronstadt brothers with Serenity and I, also backing them up.
It's wonderful when worlds collide, isn't it, Ron?
I tell you what, it's a thing of beauty. In fact, Michael plays off and on with my group and recorded with me on my last record, Triad. And besides being a fantastic cellist, I tell you what, Michael Ronstadt could be a bass player in any great band. He's a total musician with the big ears.
You'll see him playing bass later tonight.
All right.
Well, Bobby, do you want to give the information again, how people can become involved in the cause if they're
Sure.
so motivated tonight?
Yes. Again, we would love to encourage you to please contribute to our event. There's a link on the bottom, I guess, of the video. If you're watching on YouTube, there's just below the information there.
In
you can also go, if you don't see the link while you're watching, you can go to the website, www.shareinthehope.com.
And where did the funds go, Bobby?
The funds are going to 3 organizations split. The Kino Border Initiative, LULAC, the League of United Latin American Citizens, and the Catholic Charities of Southwest Ohio.
Well, that's where we live, so people's donations are going to go to work right here in their community in southwestern Ohio.
And in their service to the immigrant and refugee community. And just right here, so I can mention in our area in southwest Ohio, there are some jails that are primarily housing detainees. And many of them have no access to proper hygiene, to soap. And in fact, one of the jails was 100% tested COVID. So there's a real need.
There is a real need, and you are here doing what you do best to fill it. You are going to perform tonight with Serenity Fisher and the Cardboard Hearts. Where did that name come from?
That's an interesting point. In one of her songs from her first album, which also she re-recorded with the band on our Carousel of Love CD, Caterpillar's song, finger painted something or other of cardboard stars, and when I heard it, I thought she said cardboard hearts.
Ah.
I'm not sure that's where it actually came from, but somehow it evolved.
Well,
and Valentine's Day was a very special day for the band. We would oftentimes do an annual Valentine's Day show.
Well, I remember the first time I heard Serenity perform, it was downtown at Arnold's, and I was with your sister-in-law, Mary Lou Baker, who was a dear friend as well. And I had never heard Serenity before, and I thought, this must be what it was like when people first saw a young Kate Bush perform. You know, this beautiful woman with this dark hair and these huge eyes at the piano, just singing songs and making music that was new to my ear. And then in came Bobby from his gig. I don't know where you had played, but it was cold. It was like January, and you had about 27 guitars with you, and you didn't want to leave them in the car, so in comes Bobby to the courtyard with guitars on every shoulder and on his back and his knee, but eyes on Serenity the entire time, and sat down. And you've been making music together ever since, and I'm very, very happy to hear that. Tonight we're going to hear a piece from Serenity Fisher and the Cardboard Hearts. You want to tell us anything about the song? Do you know what song you're playing tonight?
I do. It's a song that is not yet released until tonight on video. It's called A True Fair Shot. And I think we'll let the song, the lyrics to it, sort of speak for itself, and we'll let our audience kind of guess what it's about.
Ladies and gentlemen, Serenity Fisher and the Cardboard Hearts.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. How about I step back? How about I rewind? Time probably can't be done yet because the universe is flat as far as we know it. But I wanna fold it up, jump into another timeline, and lift the wrinkles from my world and smooth them out. if I stand up? What if I fast forward through time? Turn a nickel to a dime, increase the cornucopia of our lives. I want to spread the goods around, so all that is lost be found and give everyone a true fair shot. Floating through the air, infinite sound, drifting over houses on the ground. We come with free admission. We all had a decision, and the world you wanted is the world that you can be in. How about I sit down? How about I stop to rest? Put my head on a pillow, find out if apathy will make my bed. I want to shake the truth out, take a hammer to the timeline, find the stories that were lost and hand them out. What if I lean in? What if I listen and try? What if I still fail, become another cog in the machine? I want to be a part of the messy world in every lens. Let my mind and night ears open up. Floating through the air, infinite sight, drifting backwards, upwards through the light. We come with free admission. We all get a decision, and the world we want is the world that we can be in. What if we don't act? What if we don't change? Will there still be time left? Will the world give us another day? I want to spread the goods around, so all that is lost be found. Give everyone a true fair shot.
Good evening. I've sung about rest and revitalization. I've sung about committed action. Tonight, I want to sing about both. It's a long walk. We will run, not be weary, and revive some strength today. Come sit down, put back your burden, stand up strong to stop oppression. Rest today, seize the day. On the road to peace and justice, find a heartbeat of harmony. Take a path of trust and kindness, kiss the truth and become free. We can build imagination, make a dream be real on earth. Peace can thrive among all people when we honor each one's worth. Keep in mind, you have great power. Don't forget, you have bright spark. Wake up from the deadly blindness. Break the chains that dim that spark. Weary and revive some strength today. Come sit down, put back your burden. Come sit down, stand up to stop oppression. Rest today, seize the day. If the night is dark with terror, silence is too loud. May the light of hopeful vision bring a turn of peace around. On the road to peace and justice, find a heartbeat of harmony. Take a path of faith and kindness, kiss the truth and become free. Running round in all directions, running weary all around. You might stop, listen. You might stop, stand up to stop oppression. You might stop, listen. Speak up strong to stop oppression. Bring a turn of peace around. Caught in wasteland desolation, where fear and lies have shut us down, can we heal sick isolation? Can we find safe common ground that brings a turn of peace around? On the road to peace and justice, find a heartbeat of harmony. Take a path of trust and kindness, kiss the truth and become free. Kiss the truth and become free. Kiss the truth and become free. Keep up your good work and vote.
What a Cincinnati legend, Ed Goodfriend. I remember hearing his name probably as long as I've heard my own. Ed Goodfriend sang Seize the Day, and before that it was Serenity Fisher and the Cardboard Hearts premiering a brand new song called A True Fair Shot. Ron?
Well, thank you, Elaine. I want to tell you now about the Kino Border Initiative. And the Kino Border Initiative, its mission is to promote U.S.-Mexico border and immigration policies that affirm the dignity of the human person and a spirit of bi-national solidarity. So 2 things, very importantly: the dignity of the human being. Just from the mere incarnation on this plane of reality in this form, we are all deserving to be treated with dignity. And the spirit of bi-national solidarity, it means a working together. No one party is dictating. It's a conversation between equals in the spirit of real human connection. So along with this, the Kino Border Initiative wants to direct humanitarian assistance in accompaniment with migrants. Direct humanitarian assistance. Are we not brothers and sisters in a common bond of humanity? These artificial separations that come about through enculturation, politics, socialization, the bogus us-them mentality. We are one. We are one. When that is realized in our consciousness, when that is realized in our heart, we are brothers and sisters. And that's not just some happy little fairy tale talk. Also, the Kino Border Initiative works with social and pastoral education with communities on both sides of the border. So it involves, communities in Texas, Arizona, California, places that are the first entry spots for migrants, immigrants, people actually fleeing their countries to find a better life for themselves and their children. And it also works in collaborative networks that engage in research advocacy to transform local, regional, and national immigration policies. National, regional, and local immigration policies. It's a humanitarian cause. Humanity. That's everybody. These categorizations that lead to this polarization of us, them, those are artificial constructions. There is no us, them in reality. The truth of it is, there is only us, we. And for those of you with a spiritual bent, you know this is the truth with a capital T. You have realized it in your own heart. And because of this, your consciousness has shifted. And this is what a lot of this is all about, my friends. It's about a shift in consciousness. Because, as we all know, without the shift in consciousness, we're all kind of doomed. So let's realize our oneness. I think of that song about the Youngbloods back in the 60s called Get Together. I want to tell you, every time I hear that song, I still tear up. Come on, people, now. Let's get together and love one another right now. And that's not just some soppy, idealistic nonsense. It's a real and vital way to be together with each other in respect and love. I know that's in your heart if you're watching this concert tonight. So please, think about making a donation to ShareTheJourney.com. Well, Elaine, we have some more music coming up.
I think, is there a presentation from the Kino Border Initiative?
Yeah, that's true. I think there's a video. Well, let's watch it.
Pues porque enfrenté una situación muy difícil y me sentí en la obligación de abandonar mi país. Nosotros no somos los culpables de querer venir a este país, sino que nos sentimos en la obligación de salir y abandonar nuestro país, aún abandonar a nuestra familia. Dejar todo nuestro, tal vez todo lo poco que hemos podido lograr a obtener en nuestro país, dejamos todo atrás, sin pensarlo. La verdad que todos somos iguales, en esta tierra todos somos iguales, independientemente nuestro estatus de migratorio, o seamos legales o no seamos legales en este país, todos somos iguales. Y lamentablemente pues es algo decepcionante porque Dios creó el mundo para todos.
The situation that we're in right now is that politics and policies are designed to generate despair. They're designed to make people give up. They're designed to silence them, to deter them. And our invitation in Mexico and in the United States and across the world is to be communities of hope. And we can be communities of hope by coming alongside folks who have dreams of a better life and a better world, by people who have powerful voices, and by helping them in their dreams, by joining them in those dreams, and continuing to maintain the light and the belief that our world could be a better place.
So when families are here and waiting in Nogales, Sonora for months at a time, it can be and is a time of great uncertainty about the future, about what's going to happen. At the same time, I think we continue to be struck and moved by the strength, by the perseverance, by the hope that people we serve have here. And they continue to inspire us. They continue to motivate us every day to fulfill this mission.
De superar todo esto y aún mantenerme siempre en pie. Y yo siempre, lo que me da fuerzas es porque siempre estuve pidiendo a Dios mucho. Y a pesar de todo lo que pasé, esto me ha hecho para crecer. Y me gustaría en un futuro, pues, poder ayudar a los demás, poder ayudar a aquellas personas que en verdad lo necesitan, así como yo lo necesité un día, poder abrirles mis brazos a muchas personas. Dios nos demanda de que si mi dolor tiene que ser el dolor de los demás, y si yo estoy bien, tengo que querer que los demás estén bien. A eso se basa el amor de Dios.
the video from the Kino Border Initiative. If you're moved by what you're seeing and hearing tonight, your donation would be very, very meaningful and appreciated. You could go to shareinthehope.com to make a donation. Also, on your device, you may not be able to see on the bottom the link. So if you just go to the chat or look at the event description, you'll see where you can make your donation to shareinthehope.com/donations.
And you can also chat with us when you're in the chat room. We love to hear what you're thinking about, how this presentation is making you feel, what's on your mind. We understand that Ohio's former First Lady, Dagmar Celeste, was joining in on the chat, so welcome to you and thank you. We'd like to hear from anybody and everybody tonight. More music coming up, Ron. First, we're going to hear a piece from Tony Alonso. Tony is Assistant Professor of Theology and Culture at Candler School of Theology at Emory University, where he also serves as Director of Catholic Studies. As a Cuban-American Roman Catholic, Tony is a theologian and composer whose work is animated by the diverse needs of the contemporary church. His music embraces multicultural musical expressions and reflects a commitment to strong ritual song. In 2015, his compositional work was recognized with an invitation to compose the responsorial psalm for the first Mass that Pope Francis celebrated in the United States. And his album, Caminemos con Jesus, was just nominated for a Grammy for Best Christian Album, Spanish Language. Tony Alonso performs next.
Thomas Merton once wrote, "Into this world in which there is absolutely no room for him at all, Christ comes uninvited." God, who could have chosen to come among us as anyone, a prince, a king, a president, chose none of these. Instead, choosing to come among us in the most vulnerable form possible, a tiny child. The song I want to share with you is a vivid reminder that the family into which the Son of God was born, the Holy Family, was a refugee family.
Within a stable, the only space where they could spend the night, were other travelers happy to be able to keep her labor out of mind and sight. But choirs of angels heard the mothers weeping, and heaven rang with songs of peace on earth. They went unheard by those in comfort sleeping, for Jesus came among the outcasts at his birth. So his family could flee as they escaped King Herod's evil scheming. The Son of God became a refugee. How many children died without such warning? How many mothers will not be consoled, their voices choked with anger, tears, and mourning, for songs unsung and stories never to be told. But still the angels sing their hymn of glory beyond our fears that never seem to cease. For Christ has come, and God's unfolding story redeems the world to live in love, goodwill, and peace.
Hey everybody, this is John Angotti, and I'm here today in my Pittsburgh Steelers shirt with Mean Joe Green, just to clarify that. And I know Bobby Fischer's a Bengals fan, so I had to throw that in there. But anyway, it's great to be here part of this concert tonight for Sharing the Hope. And I want to share a couple songs with you. One I wrote with Valimar Jansen and Greg Walton called Heal Us God, for our friend Mary Janice, who now lives in heaven. And it's about suffering and how we all need healing. And I'm mixing that with a song by my friend Lourdes Montgomery called Bienaventurados, to tie in the English and the Spanish together, to kind of show solidarity that we are all one and we need a lot of healing. So I hope you enjoy this. This is brand new, fairly new. So much division when we don't listen. Heal us, God. People are dying, there's too much fighting. Heal us, God. Sickness and sadness, so much madness. Heal us, God. So many hurted, abused and persecuted. Heal us, God. In faith we pray to you. In faith we pray to you, oh God. In faith we pray to you. Heal us, God. Heal us, God. Bienaventurados, pobres de la tierra, porque de ustedes es el reino de Dios. Bienaventurados los que pasan hambre, los que lloran sangre por amor a Dios. Alégrense y llénense de gozo, porque les esperan maravillas en el cielo. Alégrense y llénense de gozo, bienaventurados
separados serán. Labeling a difference, keeping a distance, heed us, God. Voices silent in the midst of all the violence, heed us, God. Sisters and brothers, seen as something other, heed us, God. Changing the story for power and glory, heed us, God. In faith we pray to you. In faith we pray to you, oh God. In faith we pray to you. Heed us, God. Alégrense y llénense de gozo, porque les esperan maravillas en el cielo. Alégrense y llénense de gozo, bienaventurados serán. Hear us, God. Hear us, God.
God bless you all. John and Gotti.
Heal Us God, that was John and Gotti. He is a music missionary. He travels the world performing inspirational music and witness to all ages through his concerts, workshops, retreats, missions, conferences, and his very being. John is a graduate of the United States Military School of Music, and he was a member of the U.S. Navy Band as lead vocalist. I believe that. His message, John says, not only extends to churchgoers, but also to those in the world who have not been reached by liturgical worship or the Christian music experience. He is from Memphis, Tennessee these days. And before John, we heard from Tony Alonso with A Weary Couple.
Well, thank you very much, Elaine. We're going to welcome Jim Prues to the seat here, and we'll be talking with Jim in a couple of seconds. But we do want to remind you that due to the pandemic, many of our performers have had to cancel tours and have lost significant income. Still, many of them believe in the cause and have donated their time and talents, and many are contributing portions of the proceeds of their sales to share the journey. And we are really, really appreciative of all the artists that are participating this evening. And in fact, I can tell you that while the artists are performing and playing, we're all sitting here in rapt attention to the music, the performance, and the message. And we're hoping that you find it as powerful as we do here. So remember, you can support the various sponsors of tonight's presentation by visiting shareinthehope.com/donations. Well, joining us right now is a Renaissance man. You know, I tell you what, brother, it takes one to know one. You know what I'm saying? With me right now is Mr. Jim Prues. He has owned Panoptic Media for the past 25 years. Jim is a writer, a musician, activist, occupier, and was a one-time candidate for the United States Congress. Most recently, though, Jim has issued a book called World 5.0. Why don't you tell us about it, Jim?
Well, the idea of World 5.0, Ron, which is just so basic and yet so foreign to us, makes me crazy. It's really just another word for life. We recognize with World 5.0 that life is happening only now. So when you say we are one, and a lot of people have sort of a general sense, yes, I guess we are one, but we are one right now, and only right now. It's the only place in time that exists.
So you're talking about present moment awareness.
Present moment awareness, I am indeed. And so that's what I call the first truth. The second truth.
Yeah, right. There are three truths,
Three
right?
truths. The power of our intent.
Okay.
That darn internet has a lot of information out there. But the power of our intent is the second truth, which is just, now that we know we're here and grounded in life, how are we going to play it? Are we going to be angry? Are we going to be hurt? Are we going to feel like a victim? Or are we going to say, my best way to play this moment is to be as helpful and as fearless as I can be. And that is the choice I'm making. And the third truth, very simply, is here we are. The choice is ultimately between fear and love, and the recognition that only love makes us happy. So it's pretty much that simple. Got a few other things in there about changing the world, getting rid of corporations and things like that. But as you well know, life coach, it starts with us.
It sure does. You can't change the world until you change yourself. And it's pretty interesting. Once you start changing yourself, the world starts to change, doesn't it?
It very much does, yes. And that's a great recognition.
Yeah. I love how you say that you're a child of the 60s. And,
I am indeed.
A Catholic guy from here in Cincinnati, Ohio. It sounds like a lot of what you're into, Jim, might be calling you a mystic.
Well, Ron, that's a term I've never used for myself, but certainly spiritual and certainly curious. I have been curious about the nature of things my whole life growing up, especially as a teenager, when actually we had a couple of seminarians that would come to the house, and we would have our talks, and I would question them about things like, well, if God is all-powerful, why does the devil kick his ass, if I may? And, if God is all good, where does all this evil in the world? And those kind of questions didn't really get an answer to until I read A Course in Miracles when I was in my 30s, and I found that highly inspiring. And so then 15, 20 years later, I'm walking my dog, and this idea of World 5.0 pops into my head. I don't know what it means, but I knew it was a big idea. And so that's led me down this road.
Yeah. So, the power of intention, the time is now, and the answer is always love, are three big things I took away. It's interesting. The answer is always love. Why is that the answer?
I think just about every performer and most of our audience understands that, right? Because fear turns into hate and worry and stress, and those things don't help us. And especially with all the musical performers we know, you cannot play when you're afraid of that note. You've got to be with the flow. You've got to feel the vibe of energy, of being together with other players. And that's how we roll.
Yeah, my man. The answer is always love is probably one of the hardest things, isn't it?
Yeah. It's taking me 30 years since I figured out that was really the thing to focus on. So, yes, it's not an overnight. Actually, I'm sure there's some people that are far more gifted than I am that can make that journey a bit more quickly. But for me, it's taken 30 years.
Yeah, well, it's all about process anyway.
It absolutely is, yes.
As long as we stay in the process, the seeds will bear fruit. But we need to stay in the process. And I like how you say the root of a lot of stuff is fear. Sometimes when I'm getting all worked up about, what's going on in the world a lot, et cetera, I'm in touch with my anger. And it's interesting, I can forget that the answer is love. Because when I love, my personal suffering is lessened. When I'm all jacked up, I may be feeling righteous, okay? But I'm kind of suffering behind it.
Well, or that becomes like a sugar high, where and an hour later, should I have done that? Should I have said that?
Very well stated. Well, hey, Jim, where can people get a copy of World 5.0?
It's actually called, the full name is World 5.0. We move from here because, just to restate the obvious, we're here in life and we're always moving from here. And it's available on Amazon.com.
All right. Hey,
Thanks
brother,
so much.
thank you. Much
Great.
love to you, too, okay?
And to you. Thanks,
All
Ron.
right. Jim Pruce, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you. So we're going to move along now into another musical segment that's going to feature Flora Leptic-Moreau, drums for Peace, and Jim Pruce and his band Pockets of Sanity. Flora Leptic-Moreau is a graduate of Edna Manley College of Visual and Performing Arts in Kingston, Jamaica. Also attended State University of New York at Brockport and the University of Toledo with degrees in dance, education, and technology. On her native island of Dominica in the Caribbean, Flora was the principal dancer with the National Dance Theater of Dominica and co-founder and director of the Dominica Children's School of Dance in 1985. When she moved here in Cincinnati, established Caribbean music and dance ensemble, and then introduced and produced educational and entertainment programs. Flora has taught and performed in Cincinnati for many years and teaches choreography and language arts at Chase Elementary School here in Cincinnati. Also, Drums for Peace has been on the Cincinnati scene for many years. I came here in 1985, and I remember Drums for Peace, very, very active, particularly in events related to social justice, and the group featuring Baba Charles Miller, percussion, and Catherine Gardette, vocals and percussion. Very well-known Cincinnatians, particularly in their neighborhood of Walnut Hills. So after Drums for Peace, Jim Pruce, and Pockets of Sanity. So let's check out Flora Leptic-Moreau.
Lajeyo le bouquet misère, lajeyo. Libérez-yo. Lajeyo le bouquet misère, lajeyo.
Pour maîtriser ce fléau, il faut viser plus haut, épargner les ados de la tentation. Pour maîtriser ce fléau, faut viser plus haut, société de consommation.
Lajeyo.
Libérez-yo.
Lajeyo le bouquet misère, lajeyo.
libérez yo,
lâchez yo,
libérez yo,
lâchez yo les boucs émissaires, lâchez yo.
Business et organisation, les chefs de l'art de la gestion, les jeunes parmi les tels experts, experts de la matière, pour faire boutique la marché comme ça.
Lâchez yo,
libérez yo,
lâchez yo,
libérez yo,
lâchez yo les boucs émissaires, lâchez yo, lâchez yo,
libérez yo,
lâchez yo,
libérez yo,
lâchez yo les boucs émissaires, lâchez yo.
Les véritables responsables, pour pas dire coupables, car évoluer à toute impunité. Les véritables responsables, pour pas dire coupables, car évoluer à toute impunité.
Lâchez yo, lâchez yo,
libérez yo,
lâchez yo les boucs émissaires, lâchez yo,
libérez yo,
lâchez yo,
libérez yo,
lâchez yo,
libérez yo,
lâchez yo les boucs émissaires, lâchez yo.
Business et organisation, les chefs de l'art de la gestion, les jeunes parmi les tels experts, parmi experts dans la matière, pour faire boutique la marché comme ça. Libérez yo, libérez yo,
lâchez yo,
libérez yo,
lâchez yo, lâchez yo les boucs émissaires, lâchez yo, lâchez yo,
libérez yo,
lâchez yo,
libérez yo,
lâchez yo les boucs émissaires, lâchez yo.
pour maîtriser ce fléau, faut viser plus haut, viser plus haut, moi dire viser plus haut. Les véritables responsables, pour pas dire coupables, car évoluer en toute impunité. Oui.
À nous aider les victimes, pas fermer les victimes, lâchez yo, lâchez yo. À nous aider les victimes, pas fermer les victimes, lâchez yo, lâchez yo.
À nous aider les victimes, aider les victimes, aider les victimes, libérer, libérer les victimes. Woy, yo, yo. À nous aider les victimes, aider les victimes.
À nous aider les victimes, pas fermer les victimes, lâchez yo, lâchez yo. À nous aider les victimes, pas fermer les victimes, lâchez yo, lâchez yo.
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
I was enjoying the music so much. I was in a trance.
Yeah.
We just heard the great Afro-Caribbean sound of Drums for Peace. And before that, Flora Leptek Moreau. And then, are we having the Pockets of Sanity video? I think it's going to be coming up, hopefully. All right. then there's a Catholic Charities thing after that.
Democracy died just yesterday. Society we used to know's insane. Wars and people suffering our shame. Searching in the darkness, answers here and now is where we be.
Hello, I'm Tony Stieritz, CEO of Catholic Charities Southwestern Ohio. Catholic Charities serves, enlightens, and empowers the vulnerable in our community through a wide array of professional services. These include food distributions, family and parenting education, and senior support services. In addition, rooted in the gospel call to welcome the stranger, Catholic Charities is also the leading provider of comprehensive immigration services in our region. We strive to provide wraparound support to migrants and refugees through our Su Casa Hispanic Center, Refugee Resettlement Program, Immigration Legal Team, bilingual mental health therapy, and Accuracy Now language services. We see ourselves at Catholic Charities as one community of solidarity comprised of clients, staff, volunteers, and supporters. Thank you for joining us in this work through your interest, your service, your contributions, and your prayers. It's critical that we see ourselves as being in this together, sharing in the hope that we can make life better for everyone, including our migrant brothers and sisters. I'd now like to introduce two of our great leaders whose teams here are serving and empowering immigrants every day. Annie Scheid, Director of Refugee Resettlement Services, and Giovanna Alvarez, Director of Su Casa Hispanic Center.
As an affiliate of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, Catholic Charities welcomes refugees escaping persecution, violence, and war in their homelands, empowering them to build new lives and become self-sufficient in a new and welcoming community. Since 1980, we have resettled thousands of refugees from all over the world right here in Cincinnati. This began in the early years with refugees from Vietnam to more recent arrivals from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Bhutan, Syria, Eritrea, and other countries, as well as special immigrant visa holders from Afghanistan. We greet newly arrived refugees at our Greater Cincinnati Airport, take them to their initial furnished housing, and then hit the ground running with our supportive services so that they will become financially self-sufficient within 90 days of arrival. Services include cultural orientation, connection to initial health screenings and healthcare services, school enrollment, youth mentoring, English as a second language classes, employment readiness classes, and job placement. We continue to be a resource for refugees through the first 5 years that they are here, when then they become eligible for U.S. citizenship. To learn more about our refugee resettlement program and the services we provide, visit our website page at ccswoh.org/programs/refugee-resettlement-services.
Su Casa Hispanic Center is a program of Catholic Charities Southwestern Ohio and was founded in 1997. Su Casa is the primary provider of social, case management, family reunification, educational, and health promotion services to the Hispanic Latino community and other vulnerable international populations in the greater Cincinnati area. Our mission is self-sufficiency for the poor and vulnerable newcomers to our region that are looking for a better way of life for themselves and their families. To serve our Hispanic Latino brothers and sisters locally, Su Casa assists immigrants in increasing their own survival skills and self-fulfillment, provides programs and services according to their needs, assists immigrants who won't receive services from us to give back to others in need. This is all done through the services Su Casa offers, which include emergency assistance, case management, family reunification, trafficking in victims assistance program, education services, health promotion outreach event and classes, and more. To learn more about our Su Casa Hispanic Center and the services we provide, visit our Su Casa website page at ccswoh.org/programs/Su Casa Hispanic Center services. To learn more about what Su Casa's work in our community, please listen to the following story.
Yo tengo cáncer linfoma, llevo año y 10 meses enferma y buscábamos ayuda en diferentes lugares, pero no teníamos respuesta, porque mi esposo se la pasaba cuidándome a mí en el hospital y al momento que me dieron de alta yo no teníamos en dónde vivir. Una amiga me contó de que podía recibir cierto apoyo acá. Estamos esperando la posibilidad de un apartamento. Con la ayuda que he recibido de acá, del centro, es como un alivio, pues me quita ese cargo de pensar. Para fechas de diciembre, llegando a la Navidad, recibimos apoyo, unas cositas de Navidad para mis hijos y donaciones de dinero también. Pues yo le daría las gracias porque Dios le ha puesto la mano en el corazón para poder ayudarnos a mí y a otras personas que lo han necesitado. Y al recibir esa ayuda, ese apoyo, pues es una motivación más. Y es bonito que ellos apoyen a las personas como nosotros.
And now more music. Jeanette Sullivan Whitaker currently lives in Hayward, California. She is the Director of Music and Liturgy at St. Joan of Arc Catholic Church. Jeanette is a lifelong music minister for the Diocese of Oakland. She's a composer, a recording artist, a dynamic cantor, pianist, arranger, percussionist, worship presenter, and retreat leader. For almost 20 years, she has served on the music staff for One Bread, One Cup Summer Liturgical Leadership Conferences in Southern Indiana, and she joins us this evening to perform No Strangers Here. Jeanette Sullivan Whitaker.
This world is crying out for kindness. Troubles rise around us every day. Yet we remember who we are in faith. People of peace. People of peace. People of courage. So much more unites us than divides us. Though we differ from each other in many wondrous ways, there are no strangers here.
That was music from Jeanette Sullivan Whitaker, No Strangers Here. Again, we want to remind you that you can support Share in the Journey. You can support Share in the Journey by visiting shareinthehope.com/donations. And we really appreciate you doing that. Thanks. Up next, a real American classic, Mr. Peter Yarrow. You'll remember Peter from his days in the group Peter, Paul, and Mary. And he was the composer of Puff the Magic Dragon. What a great song, huh? He's also a political activist and has supported several causes that range from opposition to the Vietnam War to the creation of Operation Respect, an organization that promotes tolerance and civility in schools. And then after Peter Yarrow's contribution, we'll hear from the Pearson Young Project. And Greg Pearson and Steve Young combined 60 years of experience in ministry, incorporating lessons from their own spiritual journeys with song and scripture. And the Pearson Young Project uses original music, drama, dance, scripture, and personal sharing to create a space for reflection and challenge in today's world. That's Steve Young and Greg Pearson, vocals and guitars. And right now, here's Peter Yarrow with his song, Lift Us Up, a song for America.
Well, this is a song to tell us together, myself as well, what we need to hear in this time, for me at least, which is what it is that we want. What is it that binds us together? Where do we find our strength and our resilience? Lift us up, make our stand, let love triumph in our land. Lift us up, make us strong, give us courage to right the wrong. America, our hopes and dreams are truly all at stake. Let not the hate divide us, let not our spirit break, let not our courage falter, let not our bravery fail, let unity bring victory, let love prevail. Lift us up, make our stand, let love triumph in our land. Lift us up, make us strong, give give us courage to right the wrong. Lift us up.
You know, a lot of people these days would have you believe that hope is dead, that there is no hope. And I'm here to tell you, don't let people put that idea in your head. Because there's always hope. When you get up in the morning, when you climb out of bed, remember there's hope because you got up, you're breathing, and maybe you're not where you want to be. But look ahead. Don't look at what you've lost, but look at what's ahead of you. Hope is alive. Don't let anyone tell you different. As the sun comes up on another city day, the streets echo the sounds of children as they play, and a voice calls to me, calls from deep inside, saying, hope is alive. These city blues can often bring you down, takes all you had, then throws you to the ground, and you make up in your mind, you shall survive. Hope is alive. Hope is alive. When the sun shines or a newborn baby cries, hope knows, hope will survive. Hope is alive. Just every day we walk these roads unknown. The journey may be long, but we never walk alone. My brothers and sisters will walk with me, with God as our guide. Hope is alive. Don't you know that hope is alive? When the sun shines or a newborn baby cries, hope knows, hope will survive. Hope is alive. And as we wish on that brightest star at night, we pray that you spared the morning light. 'Twas a grace that brought us far. By grace we shall survive. Hope is alive. Don't you know that hope is alive? When the sun shines
Hope is alive. The Pearson Young Project. I hope you'll take that message with you out of this evening. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. We also heard Lift Us Up from the legendary Peter Yarrow. I'm Elaine Deal. It's been a pleasure to work with Ron Esposito tonight. We have to thank our hosts, Bellarmine Chapel and Xavier University. Thank you to our sponsors, GIA Publications, Oregon Catholic Press, Ambient Studios, Panoptic Media, Jesse Waits Media, and the Pearson Young Project.
Also, thanks to Montoya's Mexican Restaurant for supplying food for our MCs and crew. Thank you to all of our performers, and a very special thank you to all of you who have turned into tonight's performance and for your generous contributions. We have 2 more songs to conclude our evening. One World, featuring Annie Donnellan Davis, along with members of our cast, and a final song featuring our full ensemble. So thank you, and hope you enjoy.